Welcome everybody, and thank you very much for checking out this video. My name is Fred Marquin. I lead the commercial team here at Sippy Software, and today I have with me Philip Ma, who is in charge of our product development. I've got Alex Nikotiak, who is in charge of operations. I've got Arthur Kamishny, who is the support team manager. I've got Jeka, who is our lead developer. And I have Pavel, who is our lead QA. And today we are going to share with you some of the exciting things that we've got coming up with Sippy in 2024. We're happy that you're watching this video, and we hope you get a lot of the information that is going to help you understand and see the road ahead for our company. This session is being called Connecting Horizons, Leading Innovation in Telecom Communications. As you know, our tagline is Connecting Carriers. In this particular introduction to 2024, we want to make sure that you get a sense for what we're doing coming up and all the exciting things happening. So today, take down your paper and pen, write down some notes, and make sure you ask questions from us. Once you finish watching the video, feel free to email us or call us. For now, I'll leave you with Philip, who's going to talk a little bit about the topics that we're going to discuss in some detail. Go ahead, Philip.
Yeah, thanks, Fred. In this series of talks, we'll hear from our support teams, primarily Arthur. Give us a bit of an overview of what life is like in our support office these days. And then we'll talk a little bit with Alex, and we'll hear about about all the changes that we have in our AWS ecosystem. We'll then shift the topics to our development team, starting with Jeka and Pavel. We'll hear a bit about our development cycle over the past year. And then we'll also hear from some of our junior team members in a future video as well. We'll get a little debrief from our sales and marketing, where Fred gets to rant a little bit about Sippy and some of our offerings there. And then we'll wrap up our discussion with some discussion from our CEO, Max. But right now, we'll throw it over to our support team, and I'll let Arthur continue on and talk about all the wonderful things that are happening with our support team.
Cool. Hello, everyone. My name is Arthur Kamishny. I'm a support manager in CPSoft. And at today's session, I would like to announce some changes that were made on our end in 2023 as a commitment to provide you with the best possible support. Philip, may you please jump to the next slide? Yes. So the first slide is Welcome Jean and our worldwide team. So last year, we strategically expanded our team to a different location, and a new engineer who was hired is a Jean, and he will work from Vancouver. Vancouver has become a part of our geolocation strategy. This decision is rooted to ensure that we can provide you timely and efficient support in different time zones. This strategic moves serves multiple purposes. Firstly, it allows us to be more accessible in Vancouver, in Pacific time zone. And additionally, we are getting more resources for the onboarding of our customers in Pacific time zone. And I think the most important purpose is to guarantee stability of our support service in case of some regional issues. We understand that geographically diverse team is crucial in today's globalized world, and this measure is a proactive step towards ensuring that we may provide you efficient and ensure that we can continue to meet your expectations. Philip, let's jump to the next slide. And the next improvement that was made on our end is support tier details. Last year, we spent a lot of time to develop support plans and the list of services that our support department, the list of tasks that our support department may help you with. And this list allows you to check directly without without contacting to support department via the solution page that is available on our support.cpsoft.com site. So it's mostly for our new customers who want to investigate the list of tasks and services that our support department provides and investigate them without contacting every time to support via the ticketing system. At the same time, if you feel that or you didn't find the task in the list, you of course may contact to support department and clarify that if this task is supported in your plan. Let's jump to the next slide. The next improvement that was made on our end last year, it's refactoring of video tutorials. We see a strong need to refresh our existing video tutorials. We understand that over time, CPSoft Switch evolves, so our video tutorials become outdated. So we invested time and efforts to make our video tutorials better. We spent time to make better voiceover and to provide better explanation for some features that were not available in previous video tutorials. We hope that the new fresh video tutorials that we are already released will be more enjoyable and smooth for your education. And we invite you to provide us a feedback. You may provide us a feedback about new video tutorials via the YouTube channel, or you may contact us via the ticketing system, and we will consider your ideas. Let's move to the next slide, Philip. L1 increased support scope. Another important area for our internal improvement is scope of level 1 support service. We are invested time to make L1 support more technical and expanded the list of responsibilities of level 1 support to reduce the load on the L2 support team. So nowadays, L1 support may assist you with the following stuff. Communication via the support line in case of urgency. So when you have some urgent issue, you may easily contact to our support line, and the first in the chain will be level 1 support engineer who may assist you with your questions, or L1 engineer may pass your details to L2 engineer via the private communication channel or via the ticketing system. This approach helps us to offload L2 engineer who usually works on urgent cases via the console and can't communicate with customer in parallel because the work may require some attention and be ready for that the first who will be answered on your phone call will be level 1 support engineer. Also, assistance to onboarding customers. We invested time to teach our level 1 support engineer to work with web interface, so he may assist onboarding customer with some basic technical information and even organizational scenes. Another area for L1 support responsibilities to track outdated systems and to plan with customers the update of their outdated systems to some latest version. Also, our level 1 support engineers monitor stuck and pending tickets and reminding the L2 team about the timelines. Also, our L1 engineer participated in global events like ITW. Last year, Jose was attendant on it, and I suppose some customers already know Jose and enjoy and were happy by his communication. Let's move to the next topic, Philip. Situation report of Ukrainian conflict. In light of recent events, the challenging obstacles faced by the Ukraine, we want to reassure you that from the onset of the situation, we have proactively implemented a set of measures to ensure that the stability and continuity of our operations. These measures have been designed to safeguard our team members and maintain uninterrupted service to our valued customers. Here are some key points regarding our efforts. Distributed team. Our team members in Ukraine are spread across different places and cities, ensuring that a decentralized and resilient structure. Remote work infrastructure. We swiftly transitioned to a remote work model, leveraging advanced technology and infrastructure to facilitate seamless communication and collaboration. Employee well-being. The well-being of our team members is a top priority for us. We have implemented support systems and resources to assist them during these challenging times. Business continuity plans. Robust business continuity plans were developed at the outset of recent events, focusing on maintaining service levels even in the face of external challenges. So despite the external uncertainties, we remain committed to deliver the high quality service to you, and we hope for your happiness and satisfaction. Thank you. I'm done with my presentation.
Okay, thanks very much, Arthur. So there's a lot of good information that you've presented there, and a lot of the changes that have been made throughout 2023 and even earlier than that are some changes that will definitely have an impact in how we deliver support, and customers should be able to see that our commitment to providing the best support is real, and that the promises we make as far as delivering great technical knowledge and assistance is bar none top of the line. I wanted to ask you, there are many changes and many improvements, but of all the changes we made in 2023, what would you say, in your perspective, would be the one change that is that customers should be the most excited about?
My own opinion, this strategical distribution of our support department is the most important part of my presentation because such a geolocation distribution guarantees the service stability.
Right. So I fully agree with you. I think that the fact that we have spread the risk and made sure that there's support continuity from everywhere in the world, every time zone, I think that that is absolutely key. And I think that that is by far one of the key ways that we're showing customers that we mean business when we're saying that we deliver support and that we are going to make our support team resilient. So yeah, that's very much good. I agree with you. Thanks, Arthur. Okay, Philip, who's up next?
I believe we have Alex next, who's going to talk to us a little bit about our AWS offering and some of the things that happen within our DevOps team.
Okay, so, Alex, go ahead. Go ahead, Alex.
Hi, everyone. We are going to mainly talk about the AWS stuff, as well as I will share additional information from the DevOps. So let's go to the first slide, please. Sippy released the AWS Switch in 2020, and since that time, AWS Cloud has been proved as scalable, reliable, and powerful platform for running Sippy Switch on board. Thus, after that important achievement, we agreed to gradually move from bare metal to AWS hosting platform. I would like to share some interesting statistics data that we have got so far running Sippy Switch on AWS Cloud. So the first one, that 1/3 of our customers are running more than 2,000 channels on AWS instances. Also, one of our customers running more than 200 CPS traffic load during peak hours. And finally, one of them running 1,200 meta sessions on AWS instance at the same time. That's really great statistical data and achievements that we have made so far. Let's go to the next slide, please. So we use Sippy Media Gateway to offload the media from the main box to the separate Sippy Media Gateway nodes. In Sippy 2022, it became possible to fully utilize that feature on AWS switches as well. Namely, to set up RTP cluster process to offload the media to bare metal or AWS-based Sippy Media Gateway nodes. Also, now it is possible to deploy a separate SMG nodes on AWS Cloud to offload the media and reduce the costs of renting AWS instances of lower instance types. And finally, as you know, the bandwidth cost is kind of high on AWS, and that's why it's possible to shift that media to the bare metal Sippy Media Gateway nodes, reducing the cost even more. Let's go to the next slide, please. So we mainly use the CloudFormation templates for deploying and managing AWS switches. However, since the release of root volume replacement task feature on AWS, and we have moved to that approach. That considerably simplified the update process and reduced greatly the downtime of the update itself. Thus, our support team can really easily and quickly update customer AWS-hosted instances by requiring only several clicks to be done by customers on their AWS infrastructure. Next topics, please. Last year, Sippy introduced the cloud backup solution to store the database in the simple storage servers on AWS, just in case of disaster recovery. Since that time, we have improved its security part by making the encryption available. So the main points of that improvement are public and private keys are stored separately, as well as distributed keys, decryption keys are provided only to authorized Sippy members. That's why no one except us will be able to decrypt the data. Next slide. So also Sippy recently started the development process on deployment of Sippy Source Switch on Microsoft Azure platform. That's my lead. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you for that, Alex. I think as same as the support team, we've got a lot of stuff that we started working on way beyond before 2023. But I think that it's the fruits of the labor are starting to show through, and I believe that our customer base and any potential customers would definitely benefit from the work that we've been doing on having Sippy on the cloud. Now, I know that we've started, as you mentioned, to do some work on Azure to have the switch on there, do some testing. I want to know from your perspective what work we might be doing coming up on AWS to extend what we do on that particular platform. Alex?
For the current being, we are currently working on deploying standby solution on AWS Cloud that should provide our customers the ability to have backup switches running in different AWS region and have like backup copies of database on them. That in case of main switch goes down, then the second will work and accept the calls from other IP addresses of customers and carriers.
Wow, that's a very interesting bit of work. I know that I deal with customers on a regular basis, and they're always asking about standby solutions for small size switches like 100 concurrent calls, 250 concurrent calls. I know that whenever I speak with the management team, I'm always bringing up this topic of having lower capacity switches have a standby. This is something that's very important, and it's exciting that the team is producing this work to deliver these solutions. Thanks, Alex. Okay, Philip, go ahead. Who's next?
I think next we're going to talk a little bit about hear from our development team and talk a little bit about what's coming up in our 2023 release. We'll start off with Pavel giving us a brief overview of what our development looked like over the past year. And tell you a little bit about some of the components that we're using as part of our release. And then we'll start talking a little bit more concretely about features that we have available in the soft switch as well. That section will sort of be broken up into two parts. We'll start off with some of the features as described by Pavel and then Cheka. And then we'll have some words from our junior developers, as well as myself, about some other features that we're working on in the second part. So for right now, we'll throw it over to Pavel to talk a little bit about our release cycle and a little bit about the components that we have.
Hello, everyone. So the diagram that you are looking at right now is the total diagram for the tickets that we have worked within for the years that has passed. And on this diagram, we tried to express the tickets by its type. So on this schema, you can see that we worked a lot on bug fixing the regressions that were coming from. And that's actually the thing that was solved in huge part by the testing QA department. Since the remaining items are task and improvement types, like 16 and 22% accordingly of all other tickets. And for those types, it means that we were working on addition of new elements, improving the existing features, and particularly we also 9.9% of all tickets working on completely new features that were available only in the coming 2023 release. The next slide, please. So we also did some huge work on bringing new version of our software to the board in the coming 2023 version, which starts actually with the core FreeBSD operating system that we are using for our software. So the 2023 release comes with ability to update to 13.2 version of FreeBSD with lots of new features and improvements like the enhanced ZFS compression support, lots of security updates, latest OpenSSH, OpenSSL versions, and so on, so on. So we also did the update to our basic base database engine, which is PostgreSQL. So in this version, the 16 version of PostgreSQL is available with extra support for JSON-B data type, logical replication from standby servers, CPU acceleration using SIMD, support for exception groups in PL Python, and TLS 1.3 in libpq and server. Lots of other changes are also on the board. Speaking of the Python, we also updated our Python version to 3.11. This is a programming language that we are using in our soft switch a lot. So 3.11 version adds support for exception groups, lots of fine-grained error location and tracebugs, and lots of other things. The core reason to get this upgrade done was the performance boost, like from 10 to 60% compared to previously used version of Python. So we also did the update of OpenSIPs, which is SIP server that we are using for processing SIP traffic. And the newest version 3.4 is available straight after the update. So lots of issues were corrected in 3.4 version, which is right now in within active support. It addresses lots of flaws and limitations in core BTB mechanism, giving better DTMF handling, new call API, and media exchange features. And the last milestone that we have passed upon performing the preparation for 2023 release is PHP upgrade. So this is our main tool that we are using for web UI particularly. So we added the new version 8.2. It comes straight after update to 2023 version with lots of new features and improvements, particularly read-only classes, sensitive parameters reduction support, random extension improvement, and lots of other things.
Great, thanks, Pavel. We have a number of new features that we'll be talking a little bit about. Today in this video, Pavel will talk a little bit about DID ranges and stir shaken per routing group changes as well. And then Jacques will talk a little bit about the API configuration for stir shaken, blocking web users on the web interface, and continuous integration. So I'll throw it back to Pavel to talk a bit about DID ranges.
So, Philip, just if I can say a couple of things here. I think one of the exciting things about this is the fact that we've got a lot of this work being done in order to deliver a higher level of functionality to the freight switch. I know that a lot of the work that we've done on the DID ranges came about as a result of what we wanted to deliver on the freight switch. I'm not sure how we're going to be tying this to the overall product, but yeah, this is very exciting stuff. And if you're a customer, you want to start thinking about how this is going to complement the line of work and the type of business that you deliver to your customers. Thanks. Go ahead, Pavel.
So thanks, Philip. Among other features that we have worked on, the DID ranges is one of the things that we paid a lot of attention, that we polished a lot. And this, as Fred said, was actually brought from the spray switch solution. So it allows the switch operator to avoid addition of thousands of DIDs that are consequent DIDs, actually consequent numbers. Instead, you are able to add one single range or a set of ranges. That would cover a set of DID numbers between range start and range end. So it greatly increases the functionality of the system and removes huge headache from the switch operator. So upon the functionality details, the range could be split to sub-ranges and might consist of either individual numbers or smaller sub-ranges. So both ranges, sub-ranges, or individual numbers could still be assigned to account, IVR, customer, in the very same manner as it was done in previous versions. The next slide. So the next topic is the stir-shaken per routing group. So stir-shaken is a suite of protocols and procedures that aim to combat caller ID spoofing and robocalls that are well known in today's world. So this is a functionality that is intended to verify the identity and authenticity of the callers. Particularly, we have implemented the certificate checking in the past for that stir-shaken solution. And right now, we added more granularity to the ability to enable and disable stir-shaken on per routing group level. So it allows to configure signing of the outbound invite for particular routing entry or for particular routing group, enable or disable it completely. While it is possible to completely disable stir-shaken for the whole routing group, which would disable it for all routing entries, it's also possible to get it enabled on the whole routing group and then tweak each routing entry according to your need. So some routing entries, some vendors might require you to sign every particular call that you are sending them. And in this case, the stir-shaken value on routing entry should be set to required. Other vendors and gateways might require you to not send them identity, actually never send them identity. And in this case, you are able to set the shaken configuration to disabled for that particular routing entry. And between required and disabled, there sits the supported value, which means that the switch would not perform the active stir-shaken dip. But in case stir-shaken was received from previous routing entry and CLI-CLD pair is the same, so we would reuse it. The vendor gateway actually supports stir-shaken but does not require it. That's it.
Yeah, I think this is a really useful feature because you might be passing traffic to places that don't necessarily need to use stir shaken. So it's nice to have that option just to be able to disable it or be able to configure it depending on where your calls are destined. And prior to this change, it was pretty much an all or nothing type setting where everything needed the certificates to be passed and whatnot. So now you have a lot more choice and agency on when it gets used or how it gets used in amongst your vendors. Thanks for that, Pavel.
Okay. Philip, so who's coming up?
Yeah, we have Jaka to talk a little bit next. Jaka's presentation comes up next. I think he's going to share his slides.
Okay. Please, Jaka.
Yeah, hello. Let me please share my screen. So, continuous integration, or just CI, is a software development practice that involves automatically and frequently integration code changes from multiple contributors into a shared repository. This process ensures that the latest code modifications are regularly tested, preventing integration issues that may arise when developers work in isolation. CI aims to identify and address bugs or conflicts early in the development cycle, promoting a more stable and reliable code base. Ultimately, CI enhances the overall software development process by promoting consistency and early error detection and rapid iteration. Sippy software has been dedicated to the practice of continuous integration for several years, seamlessly integrating it into the development processes. The company follows a well-organized development approach, with Jenkins serving as a cornerstone of own CI strategy, ensuring the smooth integration of code changes. Sippy software places a high value of efficiency in the development process. Implementing a continuous integration strategy with automated builds and tests to swiftly and reliably check and validate code changes. This approach aids in the early detection and resolution of issues, contributing to a seamless development cycle. This strategic incorporation of CI has not only elevated the company's development workflow, but has also significantly enhanced the overall stability and reliability of the code base. Below is a standard CI workflow diagram employed in the majority of our internal sub-projects. After a software developer makes code changes in the Git repository, the Jenkins agent monitors the modifications and initiates various tasks, such as code style checks, code linting, or running unit tests. Based on the task outcomes, a new build is generated. The developer receives a notification to address any identified issues or proceed with deploying the new build. Presented below is a standard stage view from Jenkins. As observed, the code underwent various checks, and unfortunately, one of these checks did not pass. Every check has the capability to produce distinct metrics, diagrams, and reports. Here is an illustration of a successfully completed unit tests report. Additionally, here is a corresponding report on code coverage. The comprehensive integration of continuous integration at Sippy Software not only underscores the company's commitment to the efficient development processes, but also exemplify a strategic approach leveraging automated builds and tests, facilitating swift validation of code changes, early issue detection, and seamless development cycles, ultimately enhancing the overall stability and reliability of the code base. That's all. Thank you.
Yeah, in terms of continuous integration, if you recall that first slide Pavel showed with the development cycle breakdown, it shows like a number of regressions or bugs that might come up as part of our development. As we work on new features and use tools like Jenkins for our continuous integration, we quite often will spin up a new ticket or a new issue for us to look at that might be a regression or some bug that we didn't notice as we develop new features. So while this graph might look like it's skewed towards bugs and regressions, it's also in part reflective of some of the changes that we make and need to correct to make that feature rock solid and stable and fully functional for you. So it's a good way to sort of help moderate and guide our new feature developments and the improvements that we have in our software.
Good. So from a customer's perspective, Philip, the work that people like Zheka carry out and that carried out in 2023, that should be understood by our customers. That is aimed at making sure that the groundwork for creating new features and making those new features viable and extendable to further features is essentially what the team is engaged in, and that the graph you're showing is something that depicts how the team puts their resources to work to make sure that in future that the software is always built for the future. Correct?
Of course, we have two layers for our problem detection here. As Jack had mentioned, we have an automated system that'll go through finding faults that we might not expect as we code and develop. And then we have another robot called Pavel, who goes through and finds any other defects that the continuous integration might miss. So there's definitely the automated side of looking at problems that come up during development, and then there's the human side who understands the problems that we're trying to fix and understands the customer use cases. So Pavel's quite good at, as good as Jenkins is, Pavel is just as good at identifying problems that miss out the customer user cases that they bring to us, or features or functionality that also work alongside some of the features that we're building out.
Yeah, this is all very exciting stuff, and I think one of the messages that the audience, anybody watching the video, has to take away is the fact that the team, not only on the support side, starting from Arthur, but also all the way up through Pavel, Alex, and Zheka, are working on the same task, which is essentially making sure that the software is well maintained, well supported, but always growing, always being able to do more and to cope with the requirements that our customers have for making their business a profitable business. So I guess I think that this is it for the Kiev team for now. Philip, for the development and support team, unless anybody has something else to say.
No, we'll come back in part 2 of this video series. We'll hear from our junior developers. I'll have a couple of items to talk a little bit about too. And then we'll hear from our sales team and our CEO in the next part.
Okay, so I guess for this part of the video, we thank Arthur very much, who's on our support team, Alex on our operations team, Pavel on our QA department, and Zheka on our front-end development team. We all thank you guys for being here. And Philip, let's go on. Flip the script to the next team.
Thanks.